Okay, so hello, Assalamu alaikum students. And this is again your teacher, Azka, and this time I am going to solve the paper 2 for O levels, or you can say for the IGCSE. And this is your latest paper, May June 2023, and you have 1 hour 30 minutes to solve this paper. And we have 2 to 3 pages case study. So we should spend 10 to 12 minutes in reading case study, and after that we are going to solve the questions. So we have basically, I think, 4% in this part and 2 questions for 8 marks and 2 questions for 12 marks. Okay, so here is the case study as you can see, but it is always a good approach to start your paper with reading the question, because when you are reading your question and after that you are reading your case study, so it means that you can better understand that what points you should gather from the case study and what type of points you should gather or extract from the case study and how to write your answer in the business context. And of course, it is very important to extract the application points from the case. So that's the reason that you should always, whether it is A levels or AS levels or O levels paper, so it is always a good thing. I am just suggesting you to try to read the question first. It is always a good approach, and it is always a good approach to solve your questions very in effective manner. Okay, so we have question number 1, in which they are asking, examiner is basically asking, explain 4 characteristics needed for an entrepreneur to be successful. So we know that there are a lot of characteristics which is very important for the successfulness of entrepreneur. So we can say that self-confidence or creativity or independency or hard work, dedication, risk-taking, innovative, and good at networking, or results-driven, or you can say the strong leadership qualities and experience and knowledge and multi-skills. So there are a lot of characteristics which is very important if any entrepreneur want to successful. But we try to read the case study, and after that we will extract some points in the business context, and then we will choose that what type of characteristics is very useful for this case study specifically. Okay, so we have to explain the characteristics. So this is your 8-mark question. Okay, so in this particular part, what type of assessment objectives will we check? Basically, AO1, AO2, and AO3. So AO1 is your knowledge point, AO2 is your application point, okay, and AO3 is your analysis point. So it means that when we are talking about the knowledge, so we will define, or we are naming the characteristics, number 1, number 2, number 3. For example, if I say that self-confidence is a key thing, self-confidence is a very much important characteristics for to become a successful entrepreneur. So it means that self-confidence is basically my knowledge point. Okay. So whenever I am writing the characteristics, the name of characteristics, so it means that I am gaining my knowledge marks. And when I am using that knowledge in my in business context, so it means that I am applying my answers. And after that, I have to write some chains of benefits, or you can see the chain of analysis that, okay, self-confidence, how the self-confidence is very much important for this particular business when it is about the successfulness. So this is your AO3, it means the analysis. Okay. So in 8-mark question, your 3 assessment objectives will be checked by the examiner. Okay, so after that we have part B, and consider advantages and disadvantages. Disadvantages of starting up ET as either an unincorporated business. Unincorporated business means a partnership. Okay, partnership business. Or as a limited company, which should Zane and Zara, Zane or Zani or whatever it is, which should Zane and Zara choose? So it means that we have to write some positive and some negative points of unincorporated business, and same thing we will do with the limited company. It means that we will write one or two point, uh, one or two positive point related to the limited company, and one or two negative point related to limited company. Okay, and after that we will conclude our answer in our recommendation. It means that in this particular thing we will say that okay, whether limited company or whether unincorporated business is beneficial for this, for the Zane and Zara. Okay, so like which type of business structure Zane and Zara should choose. So we will try to justify our answer. It means that we will write some comments in the support of our opinion. Okay, our recommendation. Okay, so after that we have question number 2. So explain one business objectives for ET and one other objective that a social enterprise like daycare might have. Okay, so first of all, we will discuss the business objective of ET. ET is basically the business, and after that, we will explain this. So when we are writing the business objective of ET, it will our knowledge, it will our knowledge, and when we are extracting some information from the case, so it will be our application. And when we are analyzing that of business objective, so this will be our analysis, chain of analysis point. And same thing will go with the objective for a social enterprise like daycare. Okay, and again in part B, use appendix 2 and other informations. Consider the two options for the first performance at the theater, which is the best option for Zara to choose. Justify your answer using the suitable calculations. So it means that there is basically appendix 2, something like some information, and there are other information also, and other information we will get from the case. And consider the two options for the first performance at the theater. So we have basically two options in appendix 2, and we have to decide that which option is very much best option for Zara, because I think this is a very new business, and we will analyze that whether option 1 is beneficial for the business at the early stage, or option 2 is is beneficial for the business at early stage. So we will discuss this thing, and we will also use some calculations thing. So we can also consider the quantitative factors while choosing the options. Okay, so we have question number 3. Sorry, I was saying that there's two questions for 12 marks and two questions for 8 marks. It is not like this. It is basically, I think, have yes, 4 questions, and in each question it has 8 and 12 mark. Okay, so in question number 3, they are asking that explain 4 reasons why it is important that Zen prepares a cash flow forecast before starting ET. So we will discuss the reasons that why cash flow forecasting is very much important whenever we are going to start our new business. And after that, in part B, consider the following 3 rules of marketing for ET. Which role will be most important for ET to be successful? Justify your answer. So there are 3 rules of marketing, and we will discuss that which role is the most important at this stage of the business. So there is identifying customer needs, satisfying customer needs, and maintaining customer loyalty. So in my point of view, identifying customer needs is very much important because this business is very new. So the first task, in my point of view, whenever we are talking about the business which is going to establish newly, so I think identifying the customer need is very much important, because once we establish our business, once our business gets successful, so after that, maybe the role of marketing, or you can say the most important role of marketing would be important for us, which is satisfying customer needs and maintaining customer loyalty. Because first of all, you have to gain customers. So how can you gain customer? First of all, you have to identify customer needs. Once you have done with this, once you are like stimulating the needs of your customer, so it means that after that, the second role, or the second most important role, or the third most important role, can be maintaining customer loyalty or satisfying customer needs. Okay, so but we will see that whether identifying customer needs or satisfying customer needs and maintaining customer loyalty is more important for this business, because maybe in the case satisfying customer needs maybe would be more important, and maybe maintaining customer loyalty would be more important. So we can say that after reading the case study, we can write a conclusion that which type of role of marketing is very much important for this business at the early stage. Okay, so after that, we have question number 4. Okay, in this particular video, I'm going to solve the first 2 questions, because if I want to solve the 4 question in one video, so it will take a lot of time, and it will it will become so lengthy, so it is very much difficult for you to watch a lengthy video. So I just want to stick on the first 2 questions. Yes, but I want to discuss, or I want to read all the questions. So, but we will do, or we will solve, or we will talk about the first 2 questions. Okay. So explain 2 leadership styles that Zain or Zara could use when managing 80s employees. Okay. So again, we will discuss the leadership style according to the case. And after that, it is part B. Consider the following 3 ethical issues for the theater. Which ethical issue is likely to have the biggest effect on ET? Estimate your answer. So this is basically ethical issues, which is right now facing by the ET. ET is basically the name of the business. So paying fair wages to employees, only buying customers produced in the local community, and purchasing all refreshments from the supplier that do not pollute the environment. So there is basically 3 ethical issues. So we will discuss that which type of ethical issue is more important, and which ethical issue will impact, or maybe will affect the ET at a bigger level. So we will discuss about this when we are done with our case study. So we will discuss these points better, that okay, what type of ethical issue is very much important, and it is very much important to tackle, or it is very much important to find any solution for these ethical issues. Okay, so this is, I think we just um on the edge of the paper. Okay, so now we are going to read the case. Okay, so this is your case study. So the name of the business is Everyone Theater. So this is basically the business which is Everyone Theater. Okay, so Zain and Zara are both actors. So we can say that if they are actors, so it means that they are experienced. Not experienced, we can say that if they are actors, so it means that they are skilled in acting. They have knowledge that how to do acting. So it means that they can easily manage this theater, because they themselves are actors. So this is one quality. We just profound reading case study. So in our first question, we have to discuss about the characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. Okay. For example, if you are not an actor, but you are going to establish a theater, so it means that it would be very difficult for you to manage. It is very difficult for you to manage your actors, your team workers. Why? Because you don't know nothing about acting. So but if you are actor, so it means that you have skills, it means that you have knowledge, it means that you have something information about the acting, so you can easily coordinate with the employees if you are hiring the actors for the theater. So what does it mean? That you can easily coordinate with them, you can easily understand them or make them understand that what are you basically wanting from them. So that's the reason that skills and basically knowledge is very much important if we are talking about the characteristics of um a successful entrepreneur. Okay. So they plan to start up a theater in low income area. Okay, so this is basically low income area. So it means that if they are going to start their theater in low income area, so it means that maybe there will be a less revenue, less or if it is low income area, so it is one more thing can happen, that may be less customers in this area. Why? Because if it is low income area, so we can say that they may be not so much interested in theater, because theater is kind of layer activity. So layer activity only for those who are earning very high. So this is one of the negative point we can identify in this line. Just try to analyze each and every point. So when we are going to write the answer, so we will discuss this again. Okay, so this will create a negative impact. Zain and Zara believe that helping the community is as important as being successful entrepreneurs. Okay, so believe is kind of a thing. We can say that this is also characteristics of successful entrepreneur. Believe on yourself, or you can say the confidence. Confidence, belief, or you can say the optimistic thing. Because if you are not positive about your work, if you always try to think in if you always think in if you always put your mind into negative thinking, so how can you operate, how can you start a new business? Because it means that your confidence level will be low. So it means that confidence, belief, or basically being an optimistic entrepreneur will create a lot of confidence, and it will boost your confidence further. Okay, so the theater will be a private sector business, and Zain and Zara have to decide whether to start up as an unincorporated business, like for example partnership, or as a limited company. And Zain is planning to prepare a cash flow forecast for the first year, because cash flow forecasting is very much important, because this is the start of the year, start of the business. So if they don't prepare the cash flow forecasting, so it means because they are new in business. Okay, this is a new business. So if they don't prepare the cash flow, so it means that they have to face serious cash flow problems. And it is also very much important to maintain the positive cash flow. Why? Because if they at the start of the business, if they have cash flow problems, so it means that they cannot they cannot operate their operations successfully. Okay, so that's the reason that cash flow forecasting is very much important. So we will discuss the other points also when we are going to solve the cash flow wala question. Okay. So Zara knows they will need to set business objectives for the theater and also decide on a leadership style to use when managing employees. Okay, so two more important things they have to do. First of all, they want to set up a business objective. Why? Because if they don't have a business objective, so it means that they don't have a picture, or they don't have a written picture. They don't have any map that how to start their business and what are their objectives, and they cannot strategize their business according to their you can say the aims. So that is why business setting the business objective is a very basic thing, and it is also very important to you can say to allocate the resources. Because if you don't know that what is the objective of your business, so it means that your all actions will be blur. Okay, so that is why setting the business objective is very much important task at the start of the business. And leadership style is again, it is very important. Because if they don't adopt the better leadership style, so it means that at the start of the business they have to recruit the workers again and again. The hiring cost will be high and different things will happen. So it means that maintaining the employees and maintaining the keeping the labor turnover low at the start of the business, it is very crucial. So that's the reason that they have to choose a perfect leadership style. ED will have 24-hour part-time employees as shown in the organizational chart in Appendix 1. Okay. So first of all, we should discuss the Appendix 1. So this is Appendix 1, as you can see. This is your Appendix 1. So proposed organizational structure chart for the theater. So marketing manager is basically Zara. Okay. So under Zara, there are basically backstage actors, and costumes and scenery is basically under the marketing manager, and they have 6 people. There are 6 people, and actors are basically in number 10, and promotional staff is, so this is basically Zara has total 18 employees under her supervision. Okay. And if we talk about the finance and administration manager, which is Zane, so there is basically cleaners and ticket office, and she has only 6 employees under his supervision. So, and one thing is more important, that uh, Zen is basically managing the cleaners and ticket office. So there is basically, in my point of view, I think that autocratic leadership style will be important. Why? Because the nature of the work of these employees is that you just need to command the cleaners and ticket office. Basically, Zen should not empower the cleaners and ticket office because their work is so simple. But whenever we are talking about the Zara, so Zara has basically promotional staff, actors, and backstage costume and scenery. So it means that she should use the democratic style and she should empower its employees. Why? Because the nature, if she empower the backstage costumes and scenery, so it means that if she is going to empower the employees who are arranging the costume and scenery, so it means that they can bring a lot of new ideas which will attract the new customers. And of course, actors are also very much important and you should empower them also. You should involve actors in different decision making things, that what type of theater they should do, that which type of theater is very much in demand, and how can they which type of acting or which type of drama they can create to attract the customers. And after that, promotional staff is also so much important. Why? Because they know that what type of promotion they can use to attract the customers. So it means that it is very much important to for Zara to use a democratic or other leadership style in which the empowerment of workers should be included. So this is how it is. Okay. So it means we can see that Zara and Zain is basically uh coordinating with the employees, and they have some employees under its their supervisions. So it means that decision making thing is very much important at this stage. So decision making is also a very important characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. Okay, so Zain and Zara plan to put on performances in the evening for local people and tourists. Okay, so this is also one thing to attract the customers, like setting up the evening time, because they think that evening time would be best for tourists, because most of the tourists want to tour at the evening time. So maybe at the evening time they want to entertain themselves. So maybe they want to purchase their tickets from the Zain and Zara. Okay, so there will be 100 seats in the theater, but not all the seats will be sold if the price is too high. And the marketing manager Zara will need to decide which performances to put on, what price to charge, and which refreshments to sell. So it means that we can say that innovation is very much important for a successful entrepreneur. Or decision making, again, like decision making thing is very much important. Why? Because if Zara or Zain want to, Zara especially the marketing manager, if Zara wants to be a successful entrepreneur, so it means that they should innovative about their work. For example, if she is going to charge the price, if she is going to sell the refreshments, so it is very crucial to think about this and try to bring some new ideas, that which price they should charge and which type of refreshment tourists or local people might attract by the refreshments. So this is very important thing. Zara will also need to decide between the two possible options for the first performance when the theater opens. Information on the two options is shown in the appendix 2. Okay, so there is one more information in Appendix 2. So as you can see, that Appendix 2 forecast data for the two possible options for ET's first performance at the theater. So basically, for each performance in option 1, number of actors would be used 7, and option 2 it would be 24. Average base cost per actor would be $30, and in this case it is $10. So it means that they will cost us $240 total, and it will cost us $210. There is also a difference of $30. So when we are going to discuss about the difference of $30, so we will also try to analyze some qualitative factors. Okay, so all other costs including scenery, costumes, and promotions. So in option 1, we will have to bear the $1,000 cost, and this option is 2,000. Okay. And forecast revenue assuming all 100 seats are sold. So remember one thing, that they are assuming. So we don't know that maybe 100 seats would be sold by the Zane and Zara or not. So this is the assuming thing. So if we assume that our 100 seats are basically sold, so we will get $1,000. And in the case of option 2, we will get 2,500. Okay, so try to think like this. For example, if we are talking about the option 1 and option 2, so we have average cost, which is 210, and in option 2 we have $240, and other cost is $1,000, and in the case of option 2 it is $2,000. So we can say the total cost is basically 1,210 and 2,240. Okay, and the revenue in the case of forecast revenue assuming all 100 seats are sold, it would be so what number we will get from this? 2,500 minus 2,240. So basically we will have positive figure, which is $260. Okay, so basically if we try to adopt the option 1, so we will have minus 210. We will have to bear the loss. And if we are talking about the option 2, so we will have the profit of $260. Okay, so in the daytime, the theater building will be used by the daycare, a local social enterprise. Daycare takes care of young children up to the age of 5 so that low income family members can go out to the work. Okay, so this is basically a social enterprise. It also provides education for the children, which helps their development and progress before they start school. Some of daycare's objective are different from those of FT. Of course, it is a social enterprise, and ET is basically a profit-making organization. So of course their business objective would be not same. So we know this thing. And basically this daycare using the building, and the building is basically for the year they purchased building for their operations, but in the evening they are renting out their building to the daycare. So this is also one more important thing to attract the customers, because customers basically very get customers most of the time gets very much impressed by the social things which a business can do. Okay, so after that we have appendix 3. In appendix 3, email from Zani to Zara from Zani, date 1st April 2023, that we want to support the local community and we need to make decisions about the following. Okay, so should we pay fair wages even though they may be higher than those paid by the competing threats, and only buy costumes produced in the local community. And so if they go with the option 2, so it will also decrease their cost of costumes, which is very high. We have seen in the financial data thing. In this thing, we can see that cost is very high. So if they buy the costumes from the local community, so it will create very much lower cost burden on the ET. And of course, it will very much, you can say, the create an employment opportunities or work opportunity for the local community also. So purchase or refreshment for suppliers that do not pollute the environment. This is also one more thing which is very important. Because, but maybe if they are going to purchase a refreshment from that type of suppliers who are making that kind of refreshments, which is not so much bad for the environment. So most probably it would be very costly for the eating. This is the negative thing we can say. Okay, so we will discuss the positive thing also, but when we will discuss the other things or the other points when we are going to solve this question. Okay, so at the start we have the question: explain 4 characteristics needed for an entrepreneur to be successful. Okay, so we have discussed the first thing, which is self-confidence. So as you can see, the self-confidence is my first thing. This is my knowledge point. Okay, so self-confidence in my point of view is very much important to be a successful entrepreneur. So we can say that Okay, so I'm just stick to this. So this is my answer for the characteristics one. That self-confidence is very much important because Zara and Zen is basically operating the whole business by their self-confidence. They have to make some decisions, and so that's why the strong belief on their own ability is very much important characteristics to becoming a successful entrepreneur. Okay, so when we are talking about the characteristics number two, okay, so we can say um that dedication, or you can say the hard work. We can say that business is basically new. Business is new. Business is new. So it means that they, Zan and Zara, have to work for long hours, or they have to perform different roles and tasks at a time. So this is also important characteristics for successful entrepreneur. Okay. So when we are talking about the characteristics number three, so we can say the strong leadership quality. Because business, of course, this is new business. There are basically some important employees, which is promotional team, actors, and costumes team. So Zen should adopt effective leadership style. It is also important for success of an entrepreneur. Okay. So we have the last characteristics. So what we can write in this, we can say the experience, or we can say the knowledge, or we can say the skills. Because Zen and Zara basically themselves are they are actors. So it means that they have some experience and knowledge about their work. So it is also a very much important thing, and it is very important for important characteristics to become successful in as a new entrepreneur. Okay. So this is how you can write your 8-mark question. So basically, when you are writing this thing, experience, knowledge, and skills, and strong leadership thing. So, what does it mean? You are gaining your knowledge point marks. And when you are extracting some important, you can say the application, or you can say the examples from the business. So, it is your application. And when you are analyzing this thing, that how leadership is very much important for the business, and why experience and knowledge skills is very much important for the business. So this is our analysis point. Okay, so in part B, consider the advantages and disadvantages of starting up ET as either an unincorporated business or as a limited company. Which should Zain and Zara should choose? Okay, so let's discuss. For example, if it is the unincorporated business, so what are the advantages? So we should write the advantage basically first. So if they will deal in the unincorporated business, so what type of advantage they have to, what advantage they will see in the future? Basically, in the partners, there will be complete control. Okay. So if there is complete control, so they can easily manage the operations, and no conflicts between the, because if we are talking about a limited company, so there will be shareholders, your friends and family. So but if we are talking about the unincorporated business, so we know that there are only two partners in the business. So conflicts in the unincorporated business is always low according to the limited companies. So no conflicts. Okay. And of course, don't have to share the profit. Okay. So it means that they do not have to share the profit with the shareholders, and may lead to higher profits each if shared between the fewer owners. So this is the advantage. And we can say that it is very easy to set up the theater, and of course there will be few legal requirements. And because this business is very new, so having fewer legal requirements is a plus thing, is an edge for this business. So it will basically reduce their effort. Okay. But if we are talking about the disadvantage, so we can say there is basically limited source of capital. Because they have only two partners. So it means that they cannot invest very much high amount in the business. Okay. And one thing is that each partner is responsible. Responsibilities is basically shared between the partners. As you can see, in appendix. So magazine has basically cleaners and ticket office. So if magazine did something wrong, or maybe she is not good enough to arranging finances and administration things, so it means that Zara will affect from this also, because the disadvantage will be faced by the business. So it means that if Zara is doing her work very perfectly, but still she has to bear the loss. So responsibilities are basically divided between the partners. So if one partner did mistakes, so it means that other partner have to face the repercussion of the other's partner mistake. So this is the negative thing. Okay. So after that, about the limited companies. So one advantage, we'll discuss the plus thing, that there is a limited liability. When you are writing the limited liability thing, so it is your knowledge thing. And when you are writing the information from the case, this will be your application. Okay. So limited liability, so it means that Zain and Zara don't need to sell their possessions. Okay. So when we are talking about the Zain and Zara, that they don't need to sell their possessions. So it means that this is our application point, because I am using the information from the case. So this is my application point. Okay. So this is the advantage of the limited company. And other thing also, they can sell shares to raise the capital, to set up the theater, to family and friends, that large amount of capital can be raised. This is also one more important thing. Okay. But it is also one negative thing, that accounts basically are not private. And it is not easy to transfer a share as a privately owned company. And it will be make it difficult to sell shares to the family and friends. And there are also have legal formalities. Okay. So there are basically, we should write two plus points and two negative points. And after that, we are going to recommend that which type of business structure would be beneficial for them. So we can say that ET should be an incorporated business. It should be in partnership. Why? Because first of all, it is easy to set up, because this is a very new business. So first thing, which should be, you can say, the much more important is that it should be easy to start up, because there are other thing also. For example, if you are talking about leadership style and maintaining the control between the customers and sorry, employees, and attracting the customer. So there are a lot of other things which is very much important to you can say to concentrate. So at this stage, if startup is easy, so it means that this will be an edge for the ET. So we can say that it is very crucial for the ET, because this is a very new business. So easy setup would be our first priority. Okay. So you can say one thing which is easy to set up. Okay. And the other thing is that Zain and Zara would have full control. and they are basically both are actors. So they can easily manage the ET, like the theater, because they know that how to manage, because they both are actors. So they have full control, and it is very important, because if they want to set up their limited company, so there will be some friends and family also. So it means that they will not have a full control on the business, and they cannot take decisions according to their requirements. So this is one more important thing we can say. And of course, they are both actors and they are working so hard, so they can keep full profit. This is also one more important thing. Okay, so there are not many legal formalities with the partnership that will increase cost, and that there are if ET was a privately owned company. Because we can see that appendix, I think in appendix 3, we are having a loss of $210, and the profit is only for $240, I think. So profit is also very lower. So if we are setting up the limited company, so it will very costly for us. If setup is very costly, so it means that they cannot what can they do, like this profit is also decreasing, and when they are occurring so much cost in setup, so it means that they will have to occur more cost in set up the business. So that's why the we can say that most important thing, or we can say the most um our recommendation is this, that partnership or unincorporated business is very much important for the ET, because if we see cost wise, if we see profit wise, if we see experience wise, if we see control wise, so partnership business is very much we can say the very effective business structure at this stage. Okay, so in question number 2, explain one business objective for ET and one other objective that a social enterprise like daycare might have. So, business objective would be, because it's a very new business, so we can say um, that survival, maybe. Okay. So, because this is the first year of operations, so they have some fear that they should not go bankrupt. Okay. So, basically, they are just want to cover the cost. Okay. So, for example, if VT has this business objective, okay, explain one objective, one business objective for ET and one other objective that a social enterprise like daycare might have. Okay, so you can explain this, that this is the first year of business. There is basically startup cost, and they are also um, serving in the low income area. They don't have customer base, so setting the business objective, which is survival, most important for ET. Okay. And when we are discussing the about the objective for a social enterprise like daycare, so there are different social enterprise objectives. For example, we can say basically that social enterprise they are working for the education. This is the objective of enterprise. And you can also see the case study. As you can see, in the daytime, the theater building will be used by a daycare, a local social enterprise. Daycare takes care of young children up to age of 5 so that a low-income family member can go out for the work. It also provides education for the children, which help their development and progress before they start school. So we can write the two objectives. We can choose the one objective from the both. For example, we can say that they just want to provide the education for the children. This is also one objective of social enterprise, and they just want to take care of the young children so their low income family can earn for them. So this is also a, you can say this is also objective of the social enterprise. Okay. Okay. So this is how you can do your 8 mark question. This is the objective. And in this part, I just explain the objective of the social enterprise. Okay, so we have part B. Using Appendix 2 and other informations, consider the two options for the first performance at the theater. Which is the best option for Zara to choose? Justify your answer using the suitable calculations. Okay, so if we are talking about the option A, so there are basically some advantages, and the advantages are that there are basically we have to employ the fewer employees. As you can see, appendix. So in option A, we have to employ the fewer employees, but in option 2, we have to employ the 24 employees. Average base cost for per actor is $30, and in this case, it is $10. So we have to be at a $240 if we will go with the option 2, and if we will go with the option 1, so we will have to spend $210 for their average wage cost, and we have $1,000 for the other cost and $200 for the option 2, and we will have only 1,000 revenue in case of option 1, and there are option 2, and we have $2,500 revenue, and I already calculated the loss and the profit thing. Okay, so we will analyze this table. Okay, so first of all, there will be fewer employees in option 1. It means that they will reduce variable cost. Okay, and basically the cost of scenery is lowest in 2 options, which is $1,000. Okay, and the total cost is, it was $1,210 for total performance, and lowest price per seat at $10. Okay, so as you can see that $1,000 revenue for option 1 and $2,500 for option 2. If 100 seats will sold, okay, so 1,000 divided by 100, so it means that one ticket will cost $10. And if we divide $2,500 divided by 100, so we will charge $25 for ticket. So if cost is low, which is $10, so it means that there is the high chances that all 100 seats will be sell. But if the ticket price would be $25, so it will be very difficult that 100 seats will be sold or not. Okay, and as it is, as they are serving in the low income area, so it means that assuming option 1 is best. Why? Because the ticket price is $10, and because of they are operating or they are serving in the low income area. We can say that $10 is the ticket price, so it means that it will sell by the 100 customers. There are more chances to sell of their sales of their seats. Okay, so basically average wage cost is highest, which is $20, $1 higher than the option 2. Okay, and there will be lower revenue. We know that there will be lower revenue if we will have $1,000, and in option two we can see that there was $2,500. So $1,000 revenue is less than option two. In option two, there was $2,500 revenue. Okay, so this is how we can write our option two. And in option two, we have basically lowest wage cost per employee. Why? Because there was a number of employee which was higher than the option one. So that's the reason. So $10 per actor. Okay, so it means that they can make the highest profit per performance. And it is also the highest revenue. It is $2,500. Okay, which is $1,500 higher than option one. Okay, but there are also some disadvantages, that there are basically higher number of employees, because we have to employ 25 employees for the option two. So higher number of employees, this would be a negative thing. Okay, per performance. So you can say managing 24 employees would be difficult. As compared to the option one, because there are basically 10 employees for the option one. Okay, and there is basically highest cost of two options, which is 2,240 per performance, and there will be highest price also, which will $225 per ticket, or you can say per seat. This is the negative thing. Okay, and so by doing this, basically the revenue will be lower, because if the ticket price is high, so it means that there is less chances of selling the 100 seats. Okay, so after that we have to recommend. So we can say that ET maybe should choose option one. Why? Because in option one, they have theater, as it has the cheapest total cost, which is 1,210. Cheaper cost of performance, it is $1,210. Okay, per performance. And we can say that theater is new, so that's why they should try to keep its cost low, as low as possible. But if we are talking about the option two, You should also discuss the option 2. You should also discuss the negative points of option 2 because you are justifying your option 1 thing. Okay, so option 2 has a higher cost. So option 2 has a higher cost. And to put the performance, and ET may not have the funds to do this, of course, because this is the new business. And also the ticket price is very high. It is $25 per ticket. Okay. So if ticket price is so high, so it means that it is located in the low income area, which I have mentioned earlier, that ET is located in the low income area. Low income area. So it means that option 2 will be not sufficient. And it means that main city, the theater may not sell all 100 seats and estimated revenue may not be received. Okay, so this is the basically drawbacks of selecting drawbacks of option 1. Sorry, option 2. So first of all, in recommendation, you have to recommend one option. Try to write 2 points related to the supportive arguments, and after that, talk about the second option and try to write some bad comments, at least two, that why option 2 is not successful and why option 2 is not a winner according to you. So two things about your justification, your judgment, your supportive arguments, and two negative things about negating the other option. Okay, so 2 points and 2 points. It means that two analysis and two analysis. Okay, two advantage or two disadvantage. That's it. So this is your question number 12, and we have done with this part. So now I am signing. I am going to sign off, and we will discuss our other two questions in the next class. Okay, so the one thing is I just want to tell you that my online classes is available for the O levels and A levels accounting and business. So if you want to join my classes, so you can DM me on WhatsApp or Facebook or wherever you want. If you want to take classes, you can also comment under comment section. So just start the journey of a very meaningful, a roller coaster journey of accounting and business. Okay, so now I'm going to end this meeting. Okay, Allah Hafiz.